I wanted to talk a little bit about Google Sites and using them for portfolios or really for any student project. My students loved building websites. Even when we created them about grammar, they were very excited to get to work on their website. One of the things I also learned is they can spend a whole lot of time working on the website and their content does not get their focus. So one of the things I've started to do is to build website templates for my students, and I will show you those in just a moment. But you can use websites for a variety of things. Here is a Spanish 3 Honors website where the teacher has created a page for each student in the course. And when I select a student's name, you'll see that this is really a Google Sites announcement page, and the student is blogging or creating different posts on this page. So you can use Google Sites to make kind of a collaborative class blog for your students. You can also use Google Sites to serve as a digital portfolio. So for the Google 3 class that I teach, I collect everything obviously through a Google Site, since that's a big focus of the class. So I created a site template that looks like this to get all of my students started. So they were able to just go into the template gallery, click create, and they were able to have a website that looked just like this, and then they would go each week and turn in the assignments as indicated on each tab. So they would go into the YouTube tab and they would put in their videos here, and there were even directions on the page. Let me show you one more example of how I've used this. Here's a project I collaborated on with one of the history teachers at my school. She wanted students to choose a country and focus on imperialism as related to that country. She also didn't want them spending hours and hours designing their site. So we created this imperialism template, and these were all of the items that were part of her rubric. So on the imperialism country page, all of the items that were on the rubric are on this page. We were able to not only create the site to save them time, but you can put the directions right on the site. Of course, some students will still go in and change fonts and colors, and that's okay. But the majority will focus more on the content unless I'm making it look pretty, because it already looks pretty to start with, and they have a little bit more of a focus because every time they go to one of these pages, it tells them exactly what to do. So let's look at a digital writing portfolio, and I borrowed most of these topics from a website that was already submitted in the Jeffco Google Gallery from a teacher at another school, and I added a few little tweaks here and there. So this website has a tab for each of the different writing topics that are to be covered this year. Probably there will be several informational pieces written, and the purpose of this website is to highlight perhaps the best piece in, and the purpose of this website is to highlight probably the best written piece in each of these different writing genres. This might be too many. You might like to have fewer or more or different topics in this, but you could use this template and customize it to fit your needs. You'll see on the home page I have a section for about the writer and just a little picture over here. Again, many students will want to customize this further, but at least this gives them a start and they spend less time creating pages and organizing pages and more time on their content. So how do I get this into the template gallery? Right now, if I look at the sharing permissions of this website, it's private only to me, and I don't really want to share this with all of my students because I don't want to have everyone editing on this site. I want everyone to have their own copy of this site. So here's how you can do that. First step is to get your website looking just the way you like it, and make sure it includes all of the components that you want your student writers to address. If you want any directions added to the website, add those first. When you're ready to put it in the template gallery, simply go over to the More button and go down to Manage Site. Scroll about halfway down the page and you'll see three options here. This is where you can delete your site, copy it, or publish it as a template. That's the option that I want. When you choose that, you will need to give the template a name, and this is important because this is how your students will search for it. So I will often include my name in the template name. I can just tell them, just search the template gallery for Johnson. And you do have to give your template a description. When you have done that, simply click Submit. You'll get a confirmation message across the top in a blue bar that says this site is in the template gallery. Any changes you make will be visible to all users. Now that's very nice because if I go back and notice there is a typo on this first page, I can change it and the template in the template gallery will be automatically updated. Those automatic changes of course stop when a student would make their own copy of the template. From there on, their changes will be separate from yours. They're working on their own copy. So let me show you that's the next step, how students would find your template that you have submitted to the gallery for them. So let me go back to my Jeffco Google Docs landing page. From here, I will go to Sites. This is the site's landing page that students or teachers will see. It lists all of your current sites on the right. And to make a new site, which is what students will be doing, they'll select the red Create button. Instead of starting with a template and starting from scratch, they'll choose Browse the Gallery for more, and in the search box, they'll simply enter the terms that you have indicated. There it is right there, Johnson Writing Portfolio. This is what they would find when they searched for my name in the gallery. They can select this template. Gives them a nice preview, and if they're ready to use it, they again hit this blue select button. Now you'll see when they're back on their creation page, selected in red is Johnson Writing Portfolio. The student can name their site. And when they click that last create button, they have their own copy of the digital writing portfolio that they can use to edit. Their copy is separate from my copy. Up in the right, I can see the sharing settings default to the private only to me. So your student would need to share this website with you, or if they want everyone else to be able to view it as well, they'll change the sharing setting from private to anyone with the link, or they want to limit it to Jeffco. Anyone in Jeffco with the link can view it. And that is how you can create a website and submit it to the template gallery to give your student writers a good head start on the formatting of their pages.